death match of a game, as I don't have the picks and bans up just yet. But there we go. We're seeing Nautilus, Graves, Bard, and Tom Kench taken out. The Bard and Tom Kench almost seem like target bans, as does the Nautilus ever so slightly.
I know that Banshee Rush is a high diamond player that only plays Bard. I believe he
Really?
has near 200,000 mastery points on the champion.
Gosh, all these high mastery points. And I'm just sitting over here going, how many points do I even have on any of my champions? Like,
I don't think I have a single mastery 5.
I mean, I've got at least 4 champions at mastery 5, but I don't know what their points are at. And you're over here just spouting it off like it's common knowledge. Like, well, as you know, Doublelift's KDA from this split was 4.75.
I've played against a lot of these guys. I plan on getting one into the top 500 for the 25k tournament.
You're not there yet?
I'm in the top 500 for sure, but I'm trying to stay there.
Yes. I don't know how many players are actually even playing right now, to be honest with you.
I don't think 500 are playing right now.
Yeah, if there is, it's pretty close. Jonzey, I am unfortunately unable to say anything about the pick and ban phase, as that would be cheating. So just play whatever you guys agree on playing. I am in no way going to breach the integrity of these tournaments. In fact, just streaming it with summoners up, some might argue, is a breach of the tournaments, but it is up to the players to tell me otherwise if they don't want their summoners shown. So I'm going to go ahead and put that off on them, because that's what you do in situations like this. You put the blame onto somebody else, which makes you completely unliable for it.
I would also like to point out just right now from the picks and bans, Rumble, ArmoredRogue is a well-known Rumble player in this tournament.
I have
I
seen
actually
Armored
played
Rogue
against.
play many games today.
I played against this Rumble today, and I believe that one of his ultimates ended the game on all 5 of us. So he's definitely a player to watch.
Yeah, Armored Rogue. Just Rumble in the jungle itself is crazy. I don't know if I'm a fan of it or if I absolutely want to tear my eyeballs out every time I see it. But it's definitely something.
It's
And
becoming a lot popular now.
yeah, it really is. And it's becoming pretty strong, in all honesty.
With all the changes to the Runeglaive, I believe is what it's called, it makes Rumble a lot stronger.
Is it the Runeglaive? I thought Runeglaive was actually removed, or at least nerfed.
I could be completely wrong. I don't
Are you
play a lot of
thinking
AP
of Runic
junglers.
Echoes, maybe? Or is it the type of smite that you get?
Yeah, the blue smite.
Blue smite. You know that I thought that was like Stalker's blade.
No, I'm thinking like the blue gem.
Oh, the blue
Similar
gem.
to Warrior
Oh yeah,
enchantment.
Runic Echoes. I'm pretty sure is
Oh,
what
it
it
is. It is now Runic Echoes. My bad.
Yeah, it does. It just has like the Luden's Echo proc now instead of the AOE splash damage that Runic Echoes or that Runeglaive used to have, which was just kind of crazy. I am going to try to confirm that though, even though I'm not the color commentator here. Oh well. Go
That's
ahead
true.
and keep walking us through this, and I will go do the fact checking for us. Don't worry.
All right. I'm not surprised to see Banshee choose Soraka. Like I said, he's a Bard player. Bard's not a super aggressive support. He can be. But I believe that Soraka fits his playstyle just as well. We'll see very similar picks coming out of the purple team as what we saw last game with the Fiora, Anivia, and Thresh. Vi is a new champion, and Caitlyn is a new champion.
Right.
On the blue side, we're seeing a engage heavy team comp with a Rumble ultimate, Mega Gnar if they play around that. But besides that, they don't have a lot of engage. I'm not so certain about Glatrick. I haven't seen a lot of his play, so I'm not sure if he plays a lot of Gnar or not. But I know
Probably.
that Weezer is an AD carry main.
Generally, if you play Gnar, you play Gnar in ArenaOnline. If you're a Gnar main.
Probably. I actually got my first target ban on Gnar today.
Wow! Congratulations.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. But I target banned
Did you
someone else,
feed
so it was kind
after
of
that?
a response.
Feed pretty hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently, yeah, the new AP jungle item, Runic Echoes, replaced Runeglaive. So,
Yeah.
who was right? I think it was me.
It was you. I
Oh,
said you
good.
were right.
Good. I know. I just need to confirm it. Confirmed on stream. That's going to be on record now forever that I was right. And you
Yep.
were, what were you?
Wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was second place. I was the
You were
first loser.
Yeah, second place out of 2. That's not too bad.
If you're not first, you're last.
Hey, you know, there have been worse places. You could get a DNF, and you didn't get one of those. You crossed the finish line, just happened to be in last place, and that's okay. Because you know what? You ran that marathon. Who cares if it took you 4 days?
So what do you think about this Ekko having teleport in the mid lane?
I think we're starting to see more teleport mid laners. I'm not exactly sure why, to be honest with you. I think Ignite hasn't really gone down too much. The Grievous Wounds changes probably do take it out a little bit, and I think the presence of a double global is really becoming more effective. And the fact that Ekko can actually teleport into a lane, and if it's a bad teleport, just take his ult back to the platform, it's a pretty cool interaction. So he's going to have a ton of movement. In fact, he could be top lane, teleport bot lane in the out of the fog of war, so that he's actually seen, and then ult back up to the top lane and do some kind of weird tricks like that. So I think Ekko with teleport, it can have some pretty cool interactions.
I also don't believe that Ignite is a strong summoner against Anivia, just because
Yes.
if you get her low and drop Ignite, she's just going to go into egg form and Ignite's going to wear off.
Correct.
And it doesn't feel very good to ignite an egg. I guess if you're trying to get some scrambled eggs, possibly, but
Yeah, you got to cook your eggs. If you don't, you can get salmonella. Unless you're throwing in a protein shake and you're a wrestler. I guess they're kind of immune to diseases from raw eggs. But I don't think any of us are professional wrestlers here, and I don't think any of us are in Rocky. So make sure you cook your eggs, guys. I think the recommended temperature is like 135 for eggs or something like that. It's really weird.
135 eggs?
135 degrees Fahrenheit to
There
cook
you
all
go.
the bacteria out of the eggs. I'm not sure. Just make sure your eggs are hot, and then you're fine. It doesn't... I'm twirling my pencil around. I look official here. He could just cancel his teleport, but you want to style points on him. You want to style on him.
Yes. I'm excited to see this Thresh again.
Yeah. It's going to be so much fun. He's actually with Kate now, who can not necessarily follow up as well, but the CC layering can be quite a bit more. Plus, Kate really doesn't have any beef with Thresh right now, so it should be a little bit more of an okay lane. Like, there's going to be less BM. It's like, hey, you know, you click this lantern, you might find your wife. Ooh, low blow, Thresh. That hurts. That's why I wanted to click it so many times. He's like, honey? Ah, damn it. No, it just brought me closer to you. I don't want to be close to you. I hate you.
But he always got a kill off of it, so it's kind of
No, sometimes it was just being used to save him, and sometimes it didn't even save him. One time I watched him click it when Thresh threw the lantern right next to himself, and he clicked it anyway. Just because it's fun to click Dark Passage. It's Magical Journey is so fun to go through, and Dark Passage, you just have to say, wee! And trust that it's going to happen. So we're seeing... Wow, I didn't even talk about these team comps. We saw Soraka versus the Thresh. I think Soraka can probably keep Lucian from dying to the Thresh hooks. Although if Soraka herself gets hooked, it's GG. It's game over, man. You are donezo.
But Soraka shouldn't be playing too far out.
Shouldn't be, but stranger things have happened. I like blue team. I don't have to arrange their portraits that far. That is perfect. That is cool. Okay. So we've got ArmoredRogue Rumble in the jungle. We've got Glatrick up on Gnar in the top lane. Unixen with the teleport Ekko. I've got Weezer making their... I'm guessing all the members of Weezer are actually playing Lucian right now. We've got Banshee Rush on Soraka. Since they took away his Bard, you got to find someone to heal. Gnar's going to put down a ton of damage on the fishizgood.
Yeah, but it's still early enough that I think that going back will not
Yeah, she
harm
still
her
has
too
egg.
much.
She's fine. She's just really squishy with that low hit points. She's susceptible to getting poked out, but then her hit points are effectively doubled because of egg form. So, what are you gonna do? It's like trying to kill Zac level 1. It's not gonna happen. He's just gonna get his cells back up, and he's just gonna flash over the wall. Whatever. And even if you have to, you can just teleport onto one of his bloblets and keep him alive.
Very true. I recently found that out that you can do that.
I think I found that out in season 4. I think Zac came out in season 4, if I remember correctly. Season
You
4
are
found
way
it.
ahead of me.
Yeah, a couple years ago. But I've been in the casting scene for a while. I watched it happen. I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. And the world learned that day. We're going to learn today. And we did. And we're going to learn today as well. As we're seeing a classic Krug start and a classic Gromp start. Both the junglers, Vi actually saving Smite for right now. Using it at the last second. I think that's a buff that you should probably Smite immediately because it's going to kill itself.
Yes.
There's really no reason to save Smite now. It actually just kind of sets you behind. Even if you have the 15% reduced summoner spell, it still kind of hurts. Gnar picking up 2 farm in the top lane with that boomerang toss. Not picking up the 3rd, though, because only diamond players can pick up all of the wave on the first one. In fact, Glatrick might be diamond, but I think he was just a gold or a silver. That's the only border I saw.
No, Glatrick is a silver player.
Well, you know what? That explains why he missed 1 farm that first wave. Ooh, 2
I
farm
believe
action.
that the diamond player on that side is Banshee Rush.
Ooh. This is going to be a lot of damage. If you can get that hyper proc. I don't know
I
why
believe
he's
he
so...
could have forced the flash there. I would have certainly kept going.
Yeah, I don't know why he's playing so safely there. You're 1 boomerang toss away. You might even be able to get the 1v1 if Fiora underestimates you. I think it's very low risk, low reward. Ooh, we're seeing... this is going to be an early gank coming in. ArmoredRogue, he has the red buff, but he's struggling to find the attacks, and Weezer actually goes in on the traps. If I happen to know a Weezer song off the top of my head, I would have made a reference there. But Lucian is just going to be able to walk it out after that death sentence lands. So they're trying to basically camp this bot lane, which I can't say I blame them, because, ooh, Lucian missing the cannon. It's a big deal. But, oh, right,
Ooh,
yeah,
that was a
Rumble coming
really
back
aggressive
around.
flash.
This could be a little bit flash death sentence. That's exactly what you want to do. The Flay's going to come in as well. Rumble's going to go down to the tower. Gives it over
Ooh,
to
and that was a
Kate.
wasted heal on top of that.
From Kate, or no, Lucian. Okay. Yeah, wasted heal and still went down. The heal brought him to like 40 hit points, and then the tower finished him off with like, you know, a 6,000 damage hit.
Well,
Ooh,
that'll
ton-
definitely...
Ooh, that's a
Be some-
little bit... I was looking away from the screen when that broke out, but basically, that's just the power of Lucian's relentless pursuit.
You know, the level 2 power spike.
Yeah, that level 2 Soraka power spike, it's ridiculous, you know. Looks like the level 3. I don't even know if he went Ardent Blaze. He should have put another point in Piercing Light. He actually went Ardent Blaze. It's a little bit of a misplay if you ask me, because you don't really need the Ardent Blaze right now. You wait till level 4 to get that usually, because the extra point in Piercing Light is really what you're using for poke and kill secures in lane.
Noticing Vi look around into Rumble's jungle to try and steal this
Yeah,
blue
she's
buff.
still messing around with the blue. It's not
Rumble
like...
knows that she is here.
Yeah, and it's not like you really even need to deny Rumble the blue buff, because what does he have for mana costs? In fact, it's just going to cost you your life. That's what your mana costs are, and that's going to be about a 40
That's
second...
the wrong way.
It's going to be about a 15-second back timer for Vi, so a little bit of an extended teleport back. We see the Riposte coming in, but nothing like we saw in the Malphite alts last game, and very much liking Fiora. They're liking the Fiora up here in the top lane. And
I believe that Fiora is a very strong champion at this point.
yeah, and Lucian picking up the red buff. They're just trading these buffs back and forth in the bot lane. In fact, I would like Lucian to go ahead and give it over to Thresh, and then they'll manage to kill Thresh later on, just so they can keep this red buff going for like the entire game. If they just have a gentleman's agreement to keep refreshing the red buff, like give 3 minutes over to the enemy, and then you take 3 minutes, what are you really losing, you know?
I've always wondered if it's possible to have all 10 members with red buff and blue buff by passing it back and forth like that.
As long as you are a mathematician, yes. But you have to have some cooperation, and then you'd no longer be playing a solo queue game unless it's the biggest coincidence of all time. And you take, like, a bruiser bot lane instead of supports that actually have kill potential. But yeah, I totally think it was possible because there's no limit to how many times you can transfer a buff back and forth.
That's true.
It's only limited by time. So if you could make it happen, make it happen.
You would need what? About 50 minutes of a game.
Well, each buff comes up in 4 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. So I don't think you'd actually have to wait for all of those respawns because you'd have 2 red buffs coming up. So really just 25 minutes, I would think.
Yes, you're right.
25 minutes, and then you can just trade them back and forth. But the grand challenge is going down on the Gnar. As we're going to get back to the action, she flashes around for the vitals behind, but we're going to go down to the mid lane for some reason, and Ekko. Both are stunned up right here. Kind of interesting. Fiora doesn't actually get the grand challenge procced. Anivia also not having too much kill pressure on Ekko right now, but she still has a rise from the frozen ashes whenever she needs to. It's kind of like Azir, except if Azir were made of ice. And instead of bringing up soldiers and towers, he brought up his own life. It's kind of what we're getting here, but it's rebirth.
Gnar should be going in. Whoa, why did Gnar?
You know, for safety, he didn't feel like he could probably duel. Like, he didn't want to riposte or get the ooh, now he's gonna have enough, but he misses the Mega Gnar, and this should be a quick dash and getting the kill. Yeah. He wanted to make sure that Mega Gnar didn't get riposted. Which is why you saw him wait there, but I think he jumped back kind of on accident a little bit. Maybe he just wanted to jump for repositioning and ended up jumping onto the minion on accident and getting the double bounce. But all in all, Banshee's rush with these amazing dodges. We saw Thresh land almost every hook. Yeah, we haven't seen Thresh land too many hooks this game. And Rayzer Blade, the thing that they did there, they put the piercing light so that Kate had to dodge back onto the Q. And now Rumble's coming in. fishizgood gonna flash over the equalizer, catches a beautiful stun, but it shouldn't really matter. Vi's coming in, however, should be able to pick up Ekko. Ekko has his ult though. fishizgood coming back alive, and Vi able to pick up Ekko. That was a very good play. Some might call it an outplay, some might just call it a play. But again, a potential highlight coming out of these guys.
That was very reactive of Vi to come in right there. She didn't even need to use the ultimate. I don't know if she was level 5 when she came in or not.
Oh my goodness, my directed camera is freaking out. I keep hitting it. And then game 6. Yeah, she was level 5 when she came in, I believe. The death sentence gonna land on a Lucian though. There's nobody there to follow up though, so it's just me raising my voice for nothing. That kind of happens a lot to me, honestly. I find myself raising my voice in times of trouble for no real gain, basically.
There's always the potential. That was a great riposte on Gnar.
Again, we're seeing some great ripostes coming out of Fiora, but can you really blame her? I mean, it's the same Fiora from last game, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because there was blue team Thresh, so blue team Fiora. So definitely very good at this champion. Popping that vital, she's going to have another vital appearing over behind, but John makes sure to hop out so they can't actually do anything. And you know, all that studying we did in the after that last week's cast, it's really helped me out. I'm starting to learn these ability names more. I still don't know all of Fiora's abilities. We've got
Lunge, Riposte. It used to be called Blade Dance, I believe, and now it's called Blade Work.
Blade Work, yes.
And then the Grand Challenge.
Okay, well, fine. But what's her passive?
Duelist something. Dance?
Okay, that actually sounds very legitimate. You pass. You pass the test. GG.
Like I said, I play a lot of Fiora and Gnar. I played both these matchups. I believe that when we solo queued, I played both of these matchups.
Yes. Yes, you did. I don't believe you fed too hardly. So, that was pretty good.
I thought I had carried you.
I would say maybe it was back and forth. I don't think anyone really got carried in those games. Well, let's get back on topic here because the death sentence is going to score a goal for red team. Right through the goalposts. Not that striker Lucian that's going to go down, though. Dodges out of that trap really nicely. Now the equalizer going to come down. Razorblade has to dodge, or has to flash, but it's not going to matter. A lot of damage going down from Armored Rogue onto Armored Rogue, but those Soraka heals, they're going to have to play around them. You're going to have to get out of Soraka. The Wish is going to come down, and now Armored Rogue basically just baiting Mythic for a pretty bad idea, and that should be a dragon. I don't think they want the tower at 11 minutes in the game, but they might want it. They could get either. It looks like Rumble's going to go over towards Scuttle at least, and they're going to start the dragon. I think that's a good call. You get the 6% extra AD AP and get the rest of your lanes ahead just off of some momentum in bot lane. So we're seeing Lucian coming out again with guns a-blazing, and I don't mean ardent blazing. They've just been...
That was most certainly a series of baits, I would have to say. Soraka baited in the Vi to flash Q onto Rumble. And immediately after, Caitlyn felt safe to come in. Lucian flashed Relentless Pursuited onto Caitlyn, and they picked up the 2 kills.
Yeah, and it's really easy to turn that around. When you've got a Soraka healing everyone up, you've got Wish still alive, and you're just basically baiting. Unix taking a lot of damage, but we've got Rumble coming around behind. fishizgood not having splash. Picks up Lucian in the process, though, and now she could be able to find a kill onto Armored Rogue. Vi, oh, so close. Doesn't have Assault and Battery up, but she does barely miss the Vault Breaker. But anytime Vi has to flash Vault Breaker, you want her to get that kill because she has to commit flash for it. Which is just one of her best initiation tools, so she can always flash Assault Battery someone. But even when she does, as you saw, you're still only doing AD. A nice Jetson's gonna land on the Weezer. He's in a big minion wave, but he made very sure not to actually attack anyone, so the minions had no reason to go back onto him. So Weezer playing very heads up. He knows what he's doing on this Lucian. We saw that at the beginning. I think by... Was it Lucian that got all the... I don't think so. I think the tangent I was going on actually happened last game when they did play Lucian. This Kate...
Yes, Rayzer played Lucian last game.
Yes, Razorblade did play Lucian last game. I think it would have been beneficial to lock in Lucian Thresh for your bot lane yet again. I mean, I think that's a good enough lane that you can probably lock it in. They opted for Thresh Vi, I think. I don't believe they traded. Yeah, they did. They did lock in a Thresh Vi, which isn't bad. But I think there are other junglers that could fit this role pretty well. Even if you have to go Warwick just for the single target lockdown. Nobody wants to go Warwick. But it might be okay. We're seeing Razorblade taking a lot of damage. The Calling's going to go down. The Silence coming down as well. Dark Passage getting him to safety. Really nicely played there by Thresh. It just kind of shows the power. But Grand Challenge is going to go down. He's going to have one more pass at the proc. Has to flash for it. Grand Challenge is going to catch. Ooh. Nice lunge back in there. Picks up the kill. Is she going to go down for the tower? Does Riposte work against tower damage?
That was... Oh, Rumble's going in.
Oh, wow. Equalizer picking up Kate very easily. The Silence going down. Lucian picking up a kill onto Thresh. Not as impactful as a Thresh as we see a pause coming in. Maybe a little bit of the reason why we're seeing the pause coming in. And you happen to know what Keystone Gnar is going? Was it?
I believe he was...
Was it Thunderlords?
I want to say Thunderlord's Decree, but I could be completely wrong.
I think Grasp of the Undying probably the better one then. Thunderlords just for the extra burst. If he does have Thunderlords, he's going to have to go pretty heavily into that middle tree. And what are you really getting from the middle tree? You're getting extra minion damage. You're getting Assassin or Mana Biscuit.
See, I actually prefer
Thunderlords.
the Thunderlord's Decree.
You prefer it? Oh, what are the benefits of getting Thunderlords versus Grasp?
Well, especially in a range versus melee matchup, it is so easy to proc the 3 attacks by auto Q boomerang throw auto onto a Fiora, and it puts down a lot more burst. I don't believe that Fiora can trade into Gnar very efficiently if you play the matchup correctly, so there's no point in having the heal when you can just do more damage outright.
It's not just a heal, it's also stealing life, which I think really helps against somebody who can just Grand Challenge and basically lifesteal up very well as we're getting back into this game. So I don't know. I do think Grasp of the Undying is kind of standard for top laners right now. Not to mention Grasp gives you, that tree just gives you extra tankiness that I think you pretty much need. So do you go Thunderlords? As we're going to see Frostbite going on to Lucian. It's going to be empowered with the passive from Flash Frost. It's actually, I forget what it's called when it's empowered. There's a different name for it, but I don't really know it. So what do you actually take?
On Gnar, I would take the Thunderlord's Decree. But that's just me personally.
Okay. Well, obviously to each their own. In these little skirmishes like this, it's really just kind of the user's preference. If you trade better with Thunderlords, or if you trade incredibly well without Grasp, that's fine. I am kind of inclined to agree with Grasp of the Undying here, but I don't play Gnar. It's just, it seems like top laners normally just kind of take that kind of stuff. So
I think that it's very dependent upon the matchup for sure, and how confident you are, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And they did change Thunderlords recently as well, just kind of as a way to, oh, we're going to get the Mega Gnar. He's going to throw a house down. Grand Challenge also going to be found. But he's not going to find the wall just quite yet. He throws another Ice Shard with the Penguin inside it. Oh, that's so cute. Onto Fiora. Fiora going to miss. Ooh, dodge out of that one. I'll call it a dodge. She used lunge. That's a dodge, right? Even though it was kind of going to miss anyway. But they can't finalize that kill in the top lane, even though they tried their best. And we're seeing now action in the mid lane in the form of wave clear. We've got Vi waiting off in the wings. She does have Assault and Battery. She has Flash, and she's going to have Vault Breaker up. Looks like she's just going to recall, though, as it's kind of hard to lock down that Ekko. And then they're going to go down with an Equalizer in the top lane. Armored Rogue taking some riposte damage. Gnar's going to hop back in there. He's not going to have Mega for a while. If he can get that Hyper Proc, he should be good to go. He's got the Hyper Proc now, but Unixen going to be going incredibly low in the bot lane. The Ignite's going down. Thresh going to have to flash out of that. Now they've got Vi coming down to the bot lane. Assault and Battery coming down. Banshee Rush going very low. They have to kill Soraka first, or they're never going to be able to kill Lucian. But once you chase it off that far, you really don't have to keep going. Now Lucian is able to get a double kill. I think you just have to chase her off. Once she uses Wish, she can't get back into that. Lucian picking up a triple kill. And now they're going to pick up Armored Rogue. They're not going to get that tower just yet. And they're going to hop on top of the head. Fiora should be able to get this kill, you would think. Riposte coming in. She's going to try to find the Vitals proc. Ooh, Mega Gnar, Mini Gnar with the 1v1 there. But a lot just happened. We got one tower traded in top lane. We got a triple kill onto Lucian. And it looks like a tier 2 is going to be traded back. So blue team comes out ahead in pretty much every regard right there.
Yes, they sure did. That was a questionable Fiora teleport onto the turret. One may argue it would have been better just to go ahead and give that up and not risk the death. But I also believe that Fiora may have been able to have killed the Gnar if there hadn't been a auto attack cancel there.
Ooh, I didn't actually notice that. That's a good call out. When you cancel
Also, I'm
your
not
auto
certain
attacks,
if she had used the Titanic Hydra to cancel an auto attack of her own to get the double auto attack.
oh, okay.
So that could have been fairly brutal to her.
Yeah, those are just the little macro details that you miss out when you're not thinking about it on a subconscious level, because in those duels, it's a very particular mentality you have to have going into them, because you have to think, okay, what do I need to flash as soon as I see the animation starting? Like, for instance, Lux Laser or Lux Binding. If I get caught by that, I'm probably going to get full chained and die. So I have to flash as soon as I see her start the animation on her Q. And then you flash that. And all of the pros know the animations of every champion that they find common matchups against, and they actually dodge out on animations more than the actual projectile. So whenever they see the Unstoppable Force animation starting, they go in. But Armored Rogue going to get caught up here. He's going to find death to be a sweet, sweet escape. Unixen going down very low. The Flay isn't going to be able to knock him out of his ultimate. They have Death Sentence going down, and they're able to trade back 2 kills. Red team's starting to claw their way back into this. We're finding less of an... even though we're still getting just as many kills almost per average per minute, It doesn't feel like that bloody of a game because the fights haven't been in such a grand fashion, but we're still getting a lot of duels by Fiora. A lot of great death sentences are landing. They just can't keep finalizing this.
And I just noticed that there is a huge CS differential in the mid lane.
Yes, Ekko with 65 farm at 19 minutes. As Fiora is going to get dueled again by Gnar, potentially. He's going to have the boomerang toss. It actually triggers onto the minion and stops in its tracks. Now Vi's coming in. This should be an easy kill. Assault and Battery is going to go down. Fiora just wants the assist. I think she picked it up. I'm not 100% sure on that. But Gnar now 1-3-1. So basically this top lane, Fiora is going to have to try to duel her way to victory for this team. And I think they can do it. If you want my honest opinion, because Fiora is getting these duels down in very nice position. She can very easily go to the backline and kill Soraka. And just, she basically has to, I'm not sure if you can riposte Vi's ultimate or not, but she basically just needs to survive in the fights or get peel. And I think Thresh is good enough at doing that, and Anivia also playing very well. In terms of damage and field potential. So really the only damage, the only differential that we're seeing is from the bot lane, as I tried to get into that action too quickly, but nothing actually really happening from it, as that's a Soraka who's just going to keep healing everyone up.
I do believe that you actually can riposte the Vi ultimate if timed just right.
Do you have to start it at the beginning or like right before she hits you?
Right before she hits you.
Okay, and then you can even stun her out of that then, theoretically, as Unixen taking a lot of damage from Flash Frost and Frostbite combinations. But now Vi's on the flank here. Fiora's on the flank here, and Vi's coming around from behind. Gnar doesn't have teleport up right now. This could be a pretty explosive 4v5, but Fiora's going to go up to the top lane. She has to try to stop Gnar from split pushing. I think it's almost time to invest after that Black Cleaver and a ZZ Route portal and just try to stop Gnar from the split push. ArmoredRogue caught out a little bit. A beautiful death sentence. And Mythical Knight is going to be able to help Jonzey finalize that kill. The burn is not going to be enough. The Lantern is triggering on that last end, but Gnar is coming in on the back end. He could find a kill. He's going to find a boomerang toss, but it's not going to land. Now that he's got a siege going on, Unixen taken very low again. Razor Blade is as well. The boomerang toss coming in from Gnar. A big Thunderlord's proc, taking it down. Fish is good. Going low, but she's going to have rebirth, so it doesn't really matter. Fiora's winning on the Grand Challenge, but Soraka coming in for the safety. Gnar's going to mega form in there. She's going to the back line. He's going to be able to find a house and turns it into an egg. So that Ice Shard finds the ice, and that's just going to be a cleanup right there. 3 for nothing right now. Ekko picking up a double kill in that, despite being caught out at the beginning of the fight and looking like he was going to lose, but the death sentence is going to land. He's not going to be able to go in on it, though, as he's silenced up. He can't find the flay. Vi's going to come around from behind. I don't know if they're going to have enough to save this, but there's not much of a mini wave. So they could get the safety down. Doesn't look like they're going to. They're going to find a death sentence out of it, though, which is followed up by the Vault Breaker, but that's not going to be enough. Lucian going in now. The Hop and Mega Gnar putting him in tower range. The Kate is not going to be enough damage. Thresh does have flash, but it's actually going to flash and catch a Rayzer Beak, little minion. Not exactly what you want from that death sentence. And Soraka was right there on the wing, so she was going to be able to heal him up anyway. So I think it's a little bit unnecessary of a flash. He's just trying to make a good set of plays and bring his team back in this, but you can't really fault him for trying. So
definitely some questionable plays right there.
Yeah, there were a couple of questionable engages and re-engages, both from red team and from blue team, but blue team really didn't lose anything, so to speak. They basically kept all their members alive through the sheer power of Soraka. And a good Soraka player can basically win your team the game.
Very true, and I noticed Caitlyn tried to ult the Gnar, but Caitlyn still does not have level 11, so she still has the level 1 ultimate, which just ultimately did not have enough damage with it.
I see what you did there, and the Ice Shard is going to find onto Fiora. Gnar's going to walk in. He's going to find Mega over the top, but Vi's coming in. They're going to fight on the Glacial Storm. The Grand Challenge is going to go down. Fiora should be getting healed up, but she's dead, so it doesn't really matter. They're fighting on the Equalizer, but it looks like it's not really equal footing after all. And they're going
I
to
see
be...
what you did there.
Oh, that was... Oh, man. Your witty banter. Goodness.
I'm not so certain about this Rumble build. I don't know if I like the Juggernaut tank build.
You know, out of Rumble in the jungle, we're going to see a bunch of questionable things. It's kind of a normal build. The death sentence is going to land, but I think Jonzey is going to go down for his troubles anyway. So despite the death sentence landing, oh, you got a free trap on a Soraka.
I see in the chat someone said that these puns are killing them slowly. I think we need to use a couple more of them.
I was not trying to use puns. I was just trying to use plays on words. If I was trying to be puns, oh, it could get pretty nasty. I'm not even going to bother with that, as I've had a very mixed history of puns in the past. In fact, I actually had about an hour and a half, 2-hour dinner with my friend, and for 90% of it, we just made plant puns and replaced pop song lyrics with farming-related puns. And man, it was not our greatest moment, but we had some pretty good laughs. Ooh, nice steal by this Rumble, though. He could actually even pick up this ward, but it's going to be a little bit risky. So despite all of that effort that Kate put into taking out that Rayzer Beak, not really going to matter. Oh, Gnar finding another grand challenge from Fiora. Nice riposte coming in yet again. Although I feel like I say that every time I see any riposte. The death sentence coming in. They're not going to want to fight this. They're going to have to disengage. They need to crystallize going down somewhere on the flank. That culling nerf, making sure that nothing can happen. The death sentence is going to land onto Ekko, but nothing can really happen from that since they don't really have the damage.
We saw 2 ultimates used from the red team, whereas we only saw 1 from the blue team. So they're going to have an advantage on this Baron.
Yeah, and Ekko doing his best to put down a bunch of damage onto this Baron. The Flash Frost is going to catch into the backline, but Soraka is just going to keep everyone alive. The teleport's coming in. They might be able to get this steal. Gnar just kind of jumps out as Fiora goes in, and this is going to be a very messy fight. Blue team going pretty low. Red team picking up a bit of the advantage here. We're going to see the equalizer go down on the flank, though, as Gnar picks up double kill on the Kate from the pit. And now Anivia is going to have to run. The crystallize is not going to be enough. Flash Frost is good, but whenever you're in egg form, it's not going to be too good for you. Even if your egg lands best eggs, you're not going to survive that. You can have a concrete shell. I think you're okay. But that's about it. In fact, they probably could kill concrete pretty easily. I mean, look at how easily they're taking out this tower just with bananas and guns. I feel like guns are kind of cheating, though. Gnar has a boomerang, and he's doing just as much damage as Lucian's guns. So I don't know if that says something about Gnar's boomerangs or about Lucian's guns, but...
Well, Caitlyn has a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
I don't know if you consider that a sniper rifle.
Are you going to continue on to that point, or is that just all you're going to say?
Well, you're speaking of guns, I mean, he has 2 little pistols.
Yeah, that's a good point. Banner-powered recall going to be just enough to troll this Vi. I think they would have recalled just out of it. But you know what? They're going to pick up free kill. Who cares? Death sentence isn't going to land. Red team getting a little bit sloppy with their engages here. Vi's just trying to make something happen, as is Thresh. They don't need to be rushing it so much, though. You've got catch potential. Just wait for blue team to get caught out of position naturally, as you still have a lot of silver and bronze players over on the blue team. People are going to get caught out. As long as you set up traps, you ward your jungle and their jungle thoroughly. Focus on one quadrant at a time. Like if you set up in the top lane, make sure you ward the top side of top quadrant of the jungles, and then just try to generate picks. You have a great pick comp, and they're not going to roam together as 5 all the time. Like, look at how far Lucian is right now, away from the rest of the team. If you just force this engage, you're probably going to win it. That's a very far behind Ekko and a jungle Rumble. And then that's it.
As well, if we don't see this game end anytime soon, blue team is looking at a potential 5 dragons in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, and ArmoredRogue getting cut out here, so this is what you need to do. Just try to generate these picks. The Wish is going to come in, as is the Death Sentence. Thresh should go in on that one, but it's going to be a lot of damage. Assault and Battery is going to go down to the Banshee Rush. They're just trying to finish off Soraka, or at least knock her out of the fight. But while that happens, Lucian is going to get a couple of solos off in the backline. So you just waited long enough for Lucian to be able to rejoin that fight from the bot lane. You're trying to find your windows to fight, and you're just choosing slightly delayed engages that just don't result in you getting the numbers advantage. At this point, you have to engage when you have the numbers advantage, not when Lucian comes back in with red buff. which we kind of saw. And they had the vision, they had the wards down, they knew that he was coming back in. And you can't really burst down a Gnar very easily when you've got Soraka. I think it was actually Rumble.
Soraka has put this team onto her back. Her positioning in these team fights is amazing, and she's able to get off over half of her health.
Oh, grand challenge going
each
down.
Team fight.
We're going to see a duel here. Not much of a duel. It's a sword versus a boomerang. I think we know who wins that fight, as she has proven time and time again. It's about 50-50. If she can get all the vitals procced. You know, you never want to duel a duelist in most cases, unless you're very, very strong. And I think Gnar's just a little bit too fragile. I mean, look at him. He's too cute. He's too much cute, not enough muscle. Whereas Fiora...
Until he reaches 100 rage.
Yeah, once he gets upset, you need to back away from him because he's not so much cute as he is destructive. He turns into Wreck-It Ralph on you. But until then, you're like, oh, I want you as my pet.
Kind of like when you buy a cat.
Yeah, you're like, oh, when you're a kitten, that's so cute. And then she becomes a cat, you're like, oh, yeah, just knock over everything that I've ever cared about. That's fine. You know, just break it all. That's okay.
Sorry to all those cat lovers out there.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of your fault for loving cats. I'm not against cats. I love all animals. I think all animals are fantastic. But I think if I had to pick one animal breed that was maybe the worst of the animal breeds, aside from, like, you know, tigers. But hey, you know what a tiger is? A cat. I'm just saying, not a coincidence.
Very true.
Hippos also very aggressive though, and they're not so much related to cats. So, let's say maybe, like, cats and hippos do not make great pets. And you can quote me on that. Do not keep hippos as pets, especially once they get to be about 2 tons. That's when you need to just flush them down the toilet.
Are you speaking from personal experience?
You know, I used to work in a zoo. I didn't, but it sounds good. I've been to a couple of zoos, though, and the hippos are always behind very thick layers of glass, which tells me a lot, because all the other dangerous animals are also behind thick layers of glass. We're going to see a grand challenge going down onto Weezer. He's going to have to try to sing his way out of this. He puts down the calling. The grand challenge not going to be completed. He can't find the angle at it. It gets completed, but he's dead. Ooh, that voice crack, so deep and dark. And ArmoredRogue just taking that up. It's going to be a kill overall. So they trade 1-for-1 in long distance engages. I think that can only benefit blue team, though.
That's very true. I think the blue team needs to just play their game and siege middle with the Soraka heals and let Gnar do his thing and split push top.
Yeah.
They have about an 7.8 thousand gold lead, and they just need to use it to their advantage in a 4-1 scenario.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to do the math on that to see if you're right. I think it's like 8.6.
It's a little bit higher
7.6.
now. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Not 7.1. Oh man, they're equalizing the gold so quickly. Give it a few more minutes, and they might be at just a 5K deficit. Man, that looks like such a big problem, though. So what happened there, though? Fiora drew a bunch of people down on the bot lane, but the rest of the team wasn't really in a position to actually capitalize on that.
It's kind of like when you're playing Udyr with a ZZ Rot and you have 4 people chasing you bot lane and your team's killing wolves.
Yeah, or your team's just in base shopping, looking at new shoes, counting all their gold. Fiora's on a ward here. I don't think that's going to work out for her. But go push bot lane. Go push something. Baron's down. You have to get lane pressure. Just rotating up too late isn't really going to do anything. Somebody needs to go down to the bot side, but I suppose you just lose your base if you do. There's really no answer that you can have here. Rumble and company just kind of leading their way to victory. I understand the necessity of stalling here, but I don't think Vi needs to be in the dragon pit. Dragon did just spawn, but so did Baron. She doesn't have a teleport. This is going to be a free Baron, but I don't think you were going to be able to do anything to stop it anyway. So at least they're trading Dragon 1 for it. But they're struggling to find anything in this macro game as the equalizer goes down and Fish is good. Trying to get the steal again, but not going to be able to. The smite a little bit too strong. We're going to see a replay basically of the second Baron, or of the first Baron, where they just get the slows onto Thresh, onto Anivia, onto anyone that they need to. Rumble is doing so much damage with that Flame Spitter that you really can't even duel him right now. Getting hit with ice shards everywhere. Penguin's not so aggressive. Penguins would make great pets, I think, as long as you get the little penguins, not the Emperor penguins. The little cute penguins, like he's
Snow
got in the
penguins,
ice.
I believe is what they're called.
What was that?
I believe that they're called snow penguins.
Are they?
I might be incorrect.
You
My
might be.
biology knowledge is
How-
pretty limited.
How good is your Arctic marine knowledge? Like, did you
Pretty
pass
limited.
that test in high school?
I believe that I took a 9th grade course in biology, and that
Okay.
was.
Well,
the
I
extent.
took. Again, this is the complete lie, but I mean, I actually took an AP fishography course. So we're gonna see a team fight breaking out though. Vitals exposed on Ekko. I am just all over the place right now because it's just a fun game for me to cast. I'm having a lot of. I don't get to talk to people very often when I cast. So I just gotta have. as
Yeah,
much
I
fun as
didn't even
can.
notice that you were casting alone today, or what I would have joined you sooner.
You know, not many people notice that I cast alone because I fill the time so well that there really aren't many awkward pauses. So you're like, you know, that guy kind of seems like he has a death sentence landing. That's what I've got. He's going to hop away from it, though. It's a little melodramatic. Thanks, Thresh. Getting me all excited here, as this could
That
be
Narvar
potentially the
is
last team
getting
fight.
up
Fiora's
very
on the
quickly.
flank, but she's going to hit the team just a little bit too late. The riposte is going to come in, the death sentence going in, but you don't want to go follow that up. Now Unixen finally on a killing spree. He's 8-5. He hasn't been super impactful. Mythical Knight, what are you doing there? You had plenty of time to get back. You knew they were there. And now fishizgood fighting on top of that equalizer. He's going to be going down. Thresh taken out as well. This is going to be a second inhibitor that can very easily rotate top. The GGs are coming out. We might see a surrender here soon. ArmoredRogue going for basically a full tank build Rumble with some extra armor or with some extra ability power. He's got the Lysandro's Torment. Ooh, a lot of damage going down on a Rayzer Blade, though. We'll get back to that in a second. Ardent Blaze and a Flash able to pick up Kate. And this is going to be the game unless something miraculous happens where all the blue team just decides to recall. And then all of the minions also stop and the game crashes and they have to remake. And the Nexus is going to go down.
That was an amazing victory with so many CS differentials for the red team. Just the macro play was not there.
Yeah. I didn't actually look at chat before I said it, but red team's win condition there was probably a DDoS once everyone got rolling. Rumble doing very well for himself. I'd say overall, we've got to give the MVP there to Lucian and Soraka. Lucian 14-0-15, and Soraka 0-0-30.
That is such a perfect support line.
That's a perfect everything down there. My gosh. Guys, ban Soraka all the time. Especially if you're against Banshee Rush now. We've learned a little bit of advanced scouting. Sorry for streaming your game, Banshee Rush. You're never going to get to
now
play
people are
Soraka
going to have to
again.
ban out his Bard and his Soraka.
Yeah, you're going to have to waste 2 support bans. And he's like, okay, I'll just play Leona and also dumpster you. And that just kind of shows the power. I don't know if there are even any more tournament codes going on right now. If we happen to have anyone here, I'm going to message Raymond. I'll see if
Rayzer Ramon has said that is it for the tourneys today.
Okay, no more tourneys done? Wow, tourneys?
Is that what I said?
That's what I said.
Oh.
If there are no more games to cast, well, it does it for us then. But I don't want to stop talking.
Possibly some duo queue.
Wow.
Get some of chat in here, you know?
Maybe.
Have some fun.
I've got my support that I'm gonna go duo with a little bit. I'll see if she's willing. What do you normally play other than Death?
Typically I only feed, but occasionally I can play top lane and mid.